I need to see if my microphone gonna work today. Cause it didn't work the other day at all. Why? I need to see if it's gonna work today. Stuck, is your microphone gonna work today, Stuck? Stuck don't think it's gonna work today neither. Oh, wait a minute. What's that I heard? I heard something. Stuck heard something. Let's see what it's gonna do, y'all. OMG. OMG. Is it gonna work? It's working, y'all. I left my microphone on. Well, not the microphone. I left on the transmitter last night. I guess I must have forgot to turn it off. You know, sometimes even stuff don't get it right. Well, anyway, still hope everybody is getting their clicks and views off of that girl. You know that girl that y'all can't stop uploading videos on. I want to upload it on this channel and on that channel, and then I want to make sure I let me see who else is doing it because I want to tie myself to them and to them and to them and to them on this channel because I'm trying to build this channel up, and then I want to go over to my other channel, and then I want to share a whole new slew of videos about that girl because I see where they got views. So I want to tie myself to that. And then I see where they got views and they got views and they got views. So I want to, tie myself to all of that. Y'all, when all else fails, they always revert back to what they know. They always resort back to what they know. That's this J4K community over here. I don't mess with them. It's very few that stuff will have anything to do with. And then furthermore, they follow Stuck over to Stuck other channel. Listen, y'all, how many subscribers does Stuck have over there now? About 975, 977, 979. Y'all got work to do. I'm surprised y'all able to even do all of that. Don't y'all have a channel y'all need to shut down and shake down and because it's steadily approaching 1,000. What you gonna do then? What you gonna do when the channel get 1,000 subscribers? Is you gonna lose your mind? You already lost your mind. And y'all, they already going over there under these troll accounts. Saying whatever. I'm assuming maybe that's how it's done. Oh, we see somebody that we threatened by. We hear somebody that other folks is listening to. We hear them. We don't like what we hear because we can't do that. In some cases, we can't even talk. Because if we talk, everybody gonna know who we are. Still already know. You're devils. You're evil. You're demonic. You're psychotic. The platform made some of you that way, but then a very high percentage of you already had disorders and disturbances. It was something already wrong with you. That's probably why you're on here. Ooh, just watch me. If you don't watch me, I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry and beg and scream and holler because I want somebody to watch me. Well, I still don't think it's enough folks watching me. So let me come on here and tell a sob story. Look what happened to me. And then look what happened to what came out of me. And then look at the dope fiends. And then the daddy is the baby daddy. And all that. And then the heroin. And then just all these dope fiends and stuff. When Stuck heard all of y'all, well, no, because Stuck didn't watch it. But when Stuck seen all of y'all the other month, Hundreds of y'all gathered around to hear about a dope fiend. Stuff new then. You know what? Something wrong with the community. Something wrong with the community. Let me tell you something about Stuff. Stuff didn't grow up around that. Stuff didn't grow up around that kind of a community. I don't know, prostituting hoes, you know, sleeping with your daddy, having your daddy's baby, dope fiend, heroin, you know, cracked out, all that different stuff. You know, sleeping with pastors and, you know, platoons, a whole platoon, and all this different stuff. No, Stuff don't know nothing about that. Stuff ain't never gonna fit in with y'all. Ever. It's never gonna happen. Hold on. And furthermore, Stuff never wanted to. But carry on. You know, I mean, it's a hood. If I drive down the road there and then make a few turns and stuff, I mean, it's a hood over there. I'm sure all that stuff is going on over there too. And it's awful back there too. I didn't know folk live over there like that. It's bad neighborhoods, and usually it's bad folks what live in them. And then I'm assuming it's either one or the other. Either they envious, and then they feel like, well, if you got a job, then I need to break into your house and take what you work for because you owe that to me. Or, well, let's just sit around and talk about something we would never do. We would never work. We would never, odds are, we would never get out of this hood that we in. Odds are, I mean, look how long we've been here. Look ahead. In 10 more years, I'm planning everything around being right here where I'm at. I ain't never gonna leave. I'm never gonna advance. Matter of fact, I have gotten accustomed to it. I think everybody live like this. And thank God for social media because I can find all of them. I can find the dope fiends and the hoes and the OnlyFans and the trauma. I can rally all the trauma around me. And aren't I special because I got a lot of traumatized people that this time of the day, most folks at work. This time of the day, most people are out providing for themselves, being self-sufficient. But no, hundreds of us sit around listening to somebody talk about a dope fiend. It's just that important. What's going on with a dope fiend? You know, this about a dope fiend, that about a dope fiend, you know, a crackhead, a rock star, a hoe, all that. Yeah, yeah, of course. It's the status quo in the hood with a hood mentality. Then you think everybody live like you live. You know what? I thank God I didn't grow around y'all. I would be up on here lying and begging and screaming and hollering and crying. Oh, please watch me. I just really, I just really want somebody to watch me. Want somebody, please watch stuff. Because stuff, Lord, all of y'all, just please watch stuff. Give stuff a click and then give stuff a view. As I pay to have somebody else shut down. Because I'm just that threatened by them. Yeah, of course you are. Stuff tell y'all all the time, you're going to always have a problem with stuff. You know why? Because stuff not about that life. And then you want to know stuff life, right? Ooh, well, let me just fill in this mile that I don't know nothing about, and then fill in these other 10 miles that I don't know nothing about, and fill in all these other hundreds of miles that I don't know anything about. And then I'm gonna do it hour. I'm gonna do it 100. I'm gonna spend hundreds of hours doing it. And you think stuff don't know? That's your life. You done stuff like that your whole life. Probably to everybody around you. If I had to guess where you live at now, everybody around there just like you. Is any of them working? Do any of them have a job? Not a job, sweeping a floor or mopping a floor or wiping down a table or filling up salt and pepper shakers. You do know anybody can do that, right? Somebody in elementary school can do that, probably kindergarten. But you filling up a salt shaker? Is you wiping down a counter? And stuff ain't knocking the ones what's out there doing it. It's just only the ones that's full of envy. Let me go over here to Stuck Channel and then log into a troll account. And you know what? Haven't y'all been doing that for years? How did that work? How did that turn out? What happened with that? The way Stuck see it, you right back at ground zero. You never left. Some of y'all will be on here doing the same thing that you do for the next 10 years. And you think Stuck don't know that for the previous 30 years you've been doing it. And some of you even before that. Well, I really just want to matter. You know what Stuck said? What's the matter with you? Go and get evaluated. Go have a mental evaluation. I don't know if they can do that for free. With all these public benefits, will they cover something like that? Go to your caseworker and say, you know what, I really think something is wrong with me. The things I do. And the people that I choose to be around. The only things that interest me are disgusting, horrific, horrendous. And the trauma, I ain't never got over it. And I would never tell a soul all the gory details of it. You name it, I done tried it. I just can't make it no kind of way. Still know why y'all come on here? To feel accepted. Well, you know what? We can't make it neither, but everything's going to be all right. You know what? Everything's going to be fine. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep lying, thieving, roguing, stealing, using, taking, recalling. Full of envy and jealousy. Mad, angry, infuriated at the world. Because my world ain't Stuck world. No, it ain't. That's the universe. The universe served you up your world, the one that you deserve, and then the universe served up Stuck's world, the one that Stuck deserves. Because Stuck worked. Stuck ain't on here begging, hollering, screaming, crying. Ooh, I just want any old body to watch me. And then in the same breath, let me find somebody that got a lot of views because I want to tie myself to them. You think Stuck don't know that y'all done did that y'all whole life? Your whole life you have done that. And then the people around you, they all think that that's acceptable behavior. You know what? I'm assuming when you get down so low, ain't nowhere to look up, right? And then when you look up, you see Stuck. That's why you're following Stuck around, trying to see where Stuck at, what Stuck doing, what Stuck saying. Is Stuck saying anything about me? Is Stuck calling my name? Stop calling my name. Mhm. I won't stop to call my name. Mhm. Stop, better not do this, or else I'ma do that. Well, you know what? The universe and karma got y'all in a chokehold. You're in a chokehold. Ooh, I mean, can you imagine? Just imagine, right? Waking up, right? Well, I need to kiss this person ass, and then I need to kiss this person ass, and I need to kiss this person ass, and I need to kiss this person ass. Well, and then somebody may say, well, why is they kissing all these four ass? Because they were doing it before they was black. What? Wait a minute. What they call that? Shadow band. They were doing it before they were shadow band, and now they is really doing it. Well, I really just want to take a break because I got a headache. Just cry. Come on here and cry. You know, tell all the different things, and then folks can feel sorry, and then I imagine some of them will actually cry and then give you a donation. If they're gonna give you $1, they're gonna give you a dime. Mhm. Is that how it work on OnlyFans? Can you give a dime or do you have to give $1? Still want to know. A lot of y'all know mm, that whole mentality. Ooh, let me drop it like it's hot, and then see if I can't scrape it up off the floor. Cause I's down there. Now, if y'all want still to come on here and lie to y'all, still know how to do that. Yeah, still love all of y'all. Still wish all y'all the best over here. Still wish you peace, love, and happiness. See, still told a lie after a lie after a lie after a lie, didn't it? Hmm. Still have to think of lies, though. They come so easily for some of you. You've been lying your whole life, lying to yourself and lying on others. Oh, really, it's something for me to get out of this. So let me come up with a lie. Come up with all these different lies. And I imagine folks like to be around liars. From my observation, they like to be around liars. They like to be around thieves. They like to be around rogues. They like to be around dope fiends and crackheads and uh, all this. What is it called? Inbred. When you have sex with your daddy and have your daddy baby, that baby is an inbred or inbreed or something. There's something wrong with them. You can look at them usually and tell that there's something wrong with them. And usually, if you can't look at them, once you be around them for about 5 or 10 minutes, you'll know something ain't right. Your head ain't right, your nose ain't right, your ears too close together, your eyes too close together, or something. Something ain't right. I don't know nothing about that neither. One day I looked it up because I was just curious. I was like, really? All this different stuff be wrong with folks like that? Let me see what they said. There's different ways you can tell what's wrong with them. What is it called? Inbreed, inbred, in humans. It's like, oh, if I leave my baby here and then I know you're gonna have sex with that baby, something wrong with that too. If folk would love folk like that. Ooh, you left your baby for your husband to have sex with your baby. I love you. Here a wrench. I love folks like you. And then use a lying, thieving, rogue, roguing and imitating and duplicating, pretending that chooses this. And then if you hear somebody said that, then now you gonna say it. If you see somebody do this, then you gonna do it. And then you wants to mold yourself after everybody else. And then you gonna change your name to them too. Cause you done it more time than I got fingers on this hand right here. If folk would love folks like that, it made me look at them. Really? That's what it has boiled down to, you have to be in a bad mental space. Like, oh, I'm just willing to take up with just anybody doing anything. To me and my family, I'm willing to take up with them. Matter of fact, I probably love folk like that more than I love my own relatives, my own family. I love folks like that. I spend more of my time around folks like that than I do anybody in my real life. That's how much I love them, and I've been loving them for years. Do y'all really think stuff don't see that there's something wrong with a lot of y'all over here? I'm only talking about over here in around the J4K. There's something wrong with a lot of y'all. But stuff knew was something wrong with y'all before stuff ever even heard of any of you. Because stuff seen what you sit around and do. And then stuff supposed to feel some kind of way because you logged out of this account and logged out of another account and then followed stuff somewhere else and then typed it some. Stuff think it's really hilarious. Really? Is that what you do all day long throughout the day? You can't provide for yourself. You can't take care of yourself. You ain't self-sufficient. You feel some kind of way about that, don't you? Stuff know you do. Stuff don't care. If folks on here that'll feed you, and I'm assuming that they'll go to the bank and then they'll wire you money, and then they'll take care of you every month, and all of that. And God help them, In their mind, I guess they think they're doing something good, and who knows, they probably is. Stuff feel like, certain things just need to take their course. You know what? If somebody gonna starve, sometimes they have to just starve. If somebody is out there in the cold on the bench, sleeping on the bench, sometimes you just have to let them sleep on that bench and see how long they gonna sleep there. Some of y'all been like that. The way that you've been like that. It ain't like you just became like that. You've been like that ever since it was of social media. And then way before that. Is they hopping in their car finna go on a job dressed up? Who they think they is? And you peeking and looking out your curtains at them like it's something foreign. It's foreign to you. You don't have the understanding or nothing like that. Well, folks can work and then take care of themselves, and they don't have to beg and plead and lie and steal and rogue and take and use and copy and blueprint and duplicate and emulate and imitate and do all this different stuff for the matter to all these different folks was just like them. It's a community of y'all. I imagine some of them feel sorry for you. I imagine. I don't know if they do or not. I'm just imagining that they do. I wouldn't know. You know what? If they was about anything, how would they have time to feel sorry for you? Well, no, I'm not gonna pay this whole bill. I'm gonna pay half of it, and then where they can pay half of their bill. It's a nice gesture, but you do know that you're gonna have to keep doing that, right? Probably for the rest of your life, you're gonna have to do that. Because they feel like now, if you did it one time, you'll do it again. And if you gave half next time, you'll pay the whole thing. If I was sit around and do that, such and such did this or that for me. So really, if they do it one time, they'll do it again. Some of y'all are realizing that, what you done got the last of it. You done got the last of it. Y'all hear stuck heat running and stuck house? It's called heat. Okay, so INBREED. What is that? Okay, here it is. Inbreeding. It is the production of offspring from the mating or breeding of individuals or organisms that are closely related genetically. By analogy, the term is used in human reproduction. Human reproduction. But more commonly refers to the genetic disorders. So that's what they call it. The offspring has genetic disorders and other consequences from the expression of deleterious or recessive traits resulting from incestuous sexual relationships and consanguinity. Okay? So that's like if the daddy have sex with the daughter and then the daughter have a baby. It's not a normal baby. It has genetic disorders. And then there's other consequences and all that stuff. Now I'm sure they have it broke down about the effects of that. And there's all these big words. Like I said, it's professionals that have the understanding of all this stuff. I ain't never heard of words like these. In this great big old long paragraph, all I see is all these different words. Anyway, all these different words describe it. And then, in other words, something is wrong with the baby. Put it like that. Something is wrong with the baby. And it's been studied scientifically. Have y'all heard of Charles Darwin? This has been going on for years. Some of y'all is like that. Some of y'all kids is like that. And we all know why and how it happened. Still don't have nothing to say about that. There's a lot of stuff still don't want to know about. Not that still doesn't have the aptitude for it, but what's the point of it? It's not my problem. Apparently there's all these different geniuses and stuff. Now, according to this, I don't know if he wrote a transcript on it. Apparently, he may have been one. Charles Darwin. He may have been a human example of his own theory. See? See how they do? Something wrong with them, but then they get up on here and claim something wrong with you. That's how they do it. Something is really wrong with me, but I would rather you think that there's something wrong with you. I'm going to play this for y'all, but y'all can hear it.
Charles Darwin.
Copyright disclaimer, fair use for educational purposes. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and put this in the description before I play it. And then Stuck on pull the call. Something is wrong with you, but you get up on social media and claim something wrong with everybody else or certain people. right? The ones that you was envious of and jealous of and have all these disorders that you can't handle. So in your mind, you think something wrong with somebody else, but really you is the problem. And you're toxic like that. And the company you keep is like that too. They love that toxicity in you. They love the evil in you. It ain't no good anyway. Oh, I misspelled this. Ain't no good. They know it. That's why they love you, because it ain't no good in you. Something wrong with them too. A lot of folk know something got to be wrong with them if that's who the kind of folk what they love. Somebody who toxic, somebody who spends their life enjoying the pain of others, inflicting pain upon others. They get sexually aroused by doing it. And then they lead you to think, oh, well, it's normal. Well, consider who's saying it. How can somebody what ain't normal tell you what's normal? I mean, it's simple. Still understand it. Still don't take up no time with it. Matter of fact, still you're surrounded by it over here. All the things I want to do on the behalf of somebody what is disordered, something is wrong with you, you're not normal. But I'm willing to do all these abnormal things for somebody that ain't normal. Of course that makes sense. Something wrong with them and something wrong with you.
About how the most robust plants are the product of crossbreeding, and that plant inbreeding or self-fertilization often carries a risk of producing a diseased species. Well, it turns out he didn't take his own advice. Darwin married his first cousin, Emma Wedgwood, and a new study in the latest issue of Bioscience suggests that the reason 3 of his children died and 3 others had no children was because they were, well, somewhat inbred. Tim Barra, professor emeritus of evolution at Ohio State University, led that study, and he joins me from member station WOSU in Columbus. Welcome.
Hi, Guy. Nice to be here.
Now, I understand that Darwin's work with plants made him suspicious about the effects of inbreeding in humans. Is that right?
Yes. Again, Charles Darwin is ahead of his time in virtually everything that he does. He was a brilliant person, and he was data-driven. He did these experiments in his greenhouse at Down and showed that cross-fertilization was infinitely superior to self-fertilization. This worried him with regard to his family because his children had, minimal problems, but they often seemed to be ill. And Charles worried about this. Did his consanguineous marriage contribute to this?
Professor Barra, explain how 2 people, say, first cousins, are more likely to produce children with genetic problems.
But
now I want to say this: you can be ill in the mind. Your psyche can be ill. You don't have to just be physically ill. A lot of people are mentally ill. And there's different words and explanations and all of that. Matter of fact, they have come up with a new word to describe some of these disorders. It used to be called just PTSD. It's much more complicated than that. Much more complicated than that. Now I'm going to see if I can find an example quickly, because I'm going to speak the words out of stuck own mouth, stuck going to say it. Did I keep this? Because I'm never going to share this. Now, I shared it with somebody, but I will not share it with the masses. Some folks got to let them not think that theirs is normal. And then let everybody around them think that theirs is normal. Because it's like, it's a never-ending circle. It's like doing the same thing but expecting a different outcome. Allow them to do that. they're never going to advance. They're going to always be exactly where they are, or they're going to be on their way back to where they came from. See the genius in that? Stuck is brilliant. Stuck would never come on here and help anybody. I won't even share anything that's going to help you. And it's out there. Find it yourself. But before you do that, find a professional. There's folks what will tell you that it can't nothing be done to help you. Professionals know that. They will tell you that. At this point in the game, it's a wrap. You're going to always be like that. It ain't no help for the helpless, for the hopeless. That's the truth. But y'all better go ahead and lie. Oh no, ours is normal. Ain't nothing wrong with me. And then ain't nothing wrong with y'all for taking care of me. It's normal for you to work and for me to sit on my ass and for you to take care of me. It's normal. All these normal things. And I'm going to get on here and tell all of y'all, because believe me, y'all not normal. But I'm going to tell y'all that something's wrong with this person and something wrong with that person. And I hope don't nobody never look at me and see that, no, something's wrong with you. It's for what no stuff is wrong with y'all. They're not going to say nothing about it. They smart, like Stuck is. They let you think that you're normal, but you're really not. Because they know where it's going to end up. It's going to always end up in the exact same space. Either you're on your way around that circle or you're coming right back to where you came from. Stuck love it. Okay, now let me see if I can find the name of this word. Apparently they add more letters to it before it. Not after, but before. There's all these different disorders. Okay, now let me see if I can find it. Anyway. And I know it seemed like 30 minutes you're waiting. That's usually how it is. Okay. Yeah. CPTSD. CPTSD. That's another letter now. That one letter probably is a result of years of research by professionals. Years of research. In some cases, the disorders are so new and complex that they haven't even come up with a name for it yet. Now, I've never heard of CPTSD, but I want to know what it means. Maybe it's crazy. Maybe it means crazy, but it's complex is what it is. It's complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It's complex. It's a developmental trauma disorder. Wildly different than post-traumatic stress disorder. So it's not the same thing. It's complex. it forms in adulthood. The trauma model states that children who experience chronic sexual, psychological, physical abuse and neglect develop CPTSD. Okay? CPTSD. Hold on, y'all. Okay, I'm going to read that again. The trauma model states that children who experience chronic sexual, not acute, but chronic, sexual, psychological, physical abuse and neglect, those are the ones that develop CPTSD. Okay? And apparently it's another letter what they can put in there, and then it's even more complex than that. Now, do Stuck know the letter? No. Stuck gonna put what Stuck think the letter is, but it could not be right. And then there's all these other letters. You take away a letter and then you add another letter and then you move one letter to some other part in it, and then it means something else. But these folks wouldn't know about that. Professors and researchers and geniuses and stuff. It's all rooted out of trauma and abuse. Severe trauma and severe abuse. So much so that they create something inside their head what ain't real. And then they try to destroy the real to validate what's in their head what ain't real. That's why they're so destructive. They destroy everything and everybody around them. But yeah, it's folks what is trained in this kind of stuff. What do this say? Ooh, I never seen words so long. Intermittent reinforcement, reactance, strategic anti-conformity. In other words, something wrong with them. Okay? That's what the reason Stuck said it, like Stuck said it, so folk can understand it. In other words, something is wrong with them. Seriously, severely wrong. Maybe in another 10 years, they'll come up with another word. Because they have to study these folks. And it's hard to do that because they think ain't nothing wrong with them. In their head, whoever they done conjured up in their head have taken the place of what's real. So that's why they destroy everything around them, for to make it seem like what's in their head is actually the reality, but it's not. That's why it's so easy to trigger any little thing. They angry, they full of rage and fury. And they hurt and destroy other folks because in their mind, by doing that, they take this image in their head of somebody that wasn't abused and wasn't traumatized. So they have to destroy what around them, where in their head they can make peace with that. but there is no peace. They will be doing that for the rest of their life. They do it for everybody that they come in contact with. Sometimes they'll go the extra step, to reach out to you. Oh, hi, how are you today? Fine. And then tomorrow, oh, I just want to say, God bless you. I don't know you like that. It's a sign. I knew something was wrong when I first seen it. On the first one, I knew something was wrong. And then there's a pattern of it. Well, today and then tomorrow and then the day after tomorrow. But still didn't bite the bait. Still didn't bite that bait. But still was supposed to bite it, all right? And since Stuck didn't, I'm going to stalk Stuck and harass Stuck and then listen to Stuck and record Stuck and then imitate Stuck and copy Stuck and blueprint Stuck. And then Oz is going to say what Stuck said. Oz is going to listen to everything what Stuck do. I'm going to have somebody to record every word what come out of Stuck's mouth. I'm going to study Stuck for years, trying to find some kind of a weakness. And then when I think I done found a weakness, I'm going to get on here and threaten Stuck. You know what Stuck said? Do it. Do whatever it is. I can't think of nothing that ain't been done to you. I can't think of one thing that ain't been done to you. And you think that's just because you ain't said it, Stuck don't know? You really think because you haven't spoken the words, Stuck don't know? Charles Darwin knew it was folk like you in the world. And folk like him knew. And others that have carried on that work. Work like that is needed. Folks need to know there is folks in the world what ain't right. And now that there's social media, people like that are needed even more. Because there's a culture of like, oh, this is normal. What I'm doing is normal. Me stalking somebody for years is normal. Me harassing somebody for years is normal. Me crying because ain't nobody watching me on social media is normal. Ain't nothing normal about that. Now y'all can sit around and make pretend like it's something wrong with Stuck because Stuck can see that that's not normal. But if that's what you have to do, do it. And you think Stuck don't know that you just like them. You are a mirror image of them. That's why you there. Stuff don't conform to madness, to psychopathy, to complex post-traumatic disorder, severe trauma, extreme abuse, mental, physical, sexual, psychological, emotional. Why do you think they cling on to stuff and they won't let go? Because they want stuff to think that I don't know what they want. I'm trying to see what could they possibly want stuff to think about something like that. They want stuff to be in fear. They want stuff to be controlled and influenced. They're going to force it. They can't force themselves to let go of stuff. And they think stuff don't see that. There's something real wrong with that. See, stuff knew what folk like that on the internet. Before YouTube, before it ever was a YouTube or a Twitter or a Facebook or any of that stuff. Stuff knew it was folks like that out there. If folk would be on the dark web. The dark web. A lot of folks don't know what that is. A lot of folks take up with folks that's into the dark web. It's very sinister. Tell you what that is before I go. I don't know nothing about it. I don't want to go over there. It's an anomaly. Okay. The dark web is the World Wide Web content that exists on dark nets. Dark nets, Nets. Overlay networks that use, network. Let's just say you got a content creator and then you got a certain number of people that always there, that always like them, that always love them, no matter what they do, no matter what's wrong with them, no matter what they done to them, even, and they family, they gonna love them anyway. It's a network of y'all. The same folks, right? Let's just pick one of them out of that. They love what folk like that sit around and do the stuff. And they own family. The same person can do the most to them and their family and to stuff. And they fine with it, whatever it is. No matter what they do, no matter how dangerous they are, no matter how toxic and evil and demonic they are, people is going to love them anyway. It's a sickness. It's a network of folks like that. A lot of times they get on here, let me shout out, who I think, okay, the most evil, demonic, sinister person, and the core of them ain't nothing but evil, and then they gonna shout out more evil to you. They gonna praise it. It's like worshiping the devil. A lot of them will get up on here and tell you don't have Thanksgiving dinner with your family. And if I had to guess, that's exactly what some of y'all do. Well, no, I better not have Thanksgiving dinner with my family. There's something that's wrong with that. There's a network of y'all like that. And apparently that's what this is. The dark web is a network of folks. Probably with the same traits and characteristics as a lot of you all. But it's a hidden, it's an uncensored. And let me explain that to you. In 2009, I created an account on YouTube because it was certain stuff that I wanted to watch. And for the record, it was black women fighting black women. Apparently, they killing one another. Now they beating them to death. They beating one another to death. Now that's what I was searching for then. In 2009, they was doing it. Believe me, they was doing it. I think YouTube was allowing everything else except showing them beating each other to death. That's the one thing that they did not show, but they allowed you to watch them fight do everything except kill each other. You can probably go to the dark web and watch them kill each other. You understand? It's uncensored. Now YouTube don't even allow fighting. Why that? I wonder why that is. Because the advertisers don't want to be associated with nothing like that. That's why it's no longer allowed. It was allowed back then. The reason I know is because for me to see it, for me to see the really bad fights, I had to create an account. There was one thumbnail that would pop up over and over and over. I was like, I really want to see this. I didn't just create an account right away. It was weeks. It was just that many black women fighting one another on YouTube. I would watch on Saturdays because I worked Monday through Friday. I would watch on Saturdays. I would go in my office and I would type in black women fighting, and then I would type in, Mexican woman beating a black woman ass, white female beating a black woman ass. Because black women feel like can't nobody whoop their ass. Apparently, it's somebody out there that will kill another black woman. They will beat them to death. If one didn't kill it, they'll wait till the other one come around and kill it. In some cases, well, no, you beat her first and then I'll finish beating her to death. You can't see it on YouTube, but you can see stuff like that on the dark web. There's folks on here what know about that, and there's folks on here what is attached to folks like that. There's folks up on here that praises people like that. They probably sit around and watch men violate children. And there's people up on here that will love somebody that loves somebody like that. You like that too. If you get to the point where you'll love anything and anybody, ain't no coming back from that. Don't look around for stuff, not around nobody like that. What is and then you love that? It's for what love the black web, the dark web. Because of all the atrocious things that they can see. Let's say a transfer truck, right? An 18-wheeler hit a lady crossing the road. On the dark web, you can see the aftermath of that. You'll get to see the gore. You'll get to see the body up close. Video after video after video. You'll see it. You'll see what the truck did to the body and to the road and to the truck, but primarily to the body, what's left of it. You'll get to see that for yourself. These folks would wake up wanting to see stuff like that all day long until they close their eyes. They think that's normal. Something wrong with them too. So enough about the dark web. I think I made my point. Let's get back to Charles Darwin.
It's a 6% probability that an individual who is the product of a consanguineous marriage will inherit an identical allele or an alternative expression of a gene that's identical from each parent. And if there are deleterious alleles in this gene pool, they're going to get 2 copies, which will allow the expression of the gene, whereas 1 copy would not.
Now, still understand everything that was said. And if you didn't, still not going to explain it to you.
happy would not.
Now, he didn't have the data you talk about, but I've read that he suspected something might be wrong, and he was racked with some guilt about this.
Yes, it bothered him. He did worry, particularly when Annie died. That was an incredible blow.
She was 10 years old when she died.
She was 10 years old, his first daughter, his favorite child, actually, and he never recovered from it. And he had 3 children who died before the age of 10, or at the age of 10. We know the cause of death of 2 of these. Annie died of tuberculosis, and Charles Waring died of scarlet fever. We know that consanguinity is a risk factor for susceptibility to infection. So that's one line that led us to question, was this related to his intermarriage with his Wedgwood family? The other was that he had 10 children, 6 of which had long-term marriages. Well, of those 6, 3 did not leave any offspring. Now, if it were just 1, you might, dismiss it. But
yeah,
2 is suspicious. 3 out of 6, that's pretty strong. And again, consanguinity is a risk factor for unexplained infertility.
Now, a few of Darwin's children actually made out okay, right?
Oh, yeah. It was not all genetic doom and gloom. 3 of his sons were prominent scientists and were.
So as you can see, it doesn't affect all of them. But I'm a little curious about something. And someone said, well, Stuck, what is you curious about, Stuck? It's just something that Stuck want to know and Stuck gonna find out live. Okay, so here it is. Children of inbreeding tend to have more trouble having kids and are sick and are slightly sicklier, and that gets worse over time. Okay, so there are all these different problems. Now I can elaborate a little bit more. It says here, inbreeding occurs when 2 closely related organisms mate with each other and produce offspring. The 2 main negative consequences of inbreeding are an increased risk of undesirable genes and a reduction in genetic diversity. Okay, so something's wrong with them. You might not can't see it. It's down to the molecular level, the genetic level. Okay. Still have the understanding of this, still has an aptitude. And that means that stuff has the ability to understand. So according to this, there are different disorders that come along with that. Reduced fertility, reduced birth rate, higher infant and child mortality, smaller adult size. Okay? I just want to reiterate that. A smaller adult size. Smaller. Like dwarf, smaller. Now, people may not know what a dwarf is. I'll tell you what that is. It's spelled DWARF. Smaller adult size. Just remember that. I'm going to get back to the list. A person with a usually genetic disorder. Listen now. A person with a usually genetic disorder. Genetic disorder. resulting in a typically short stature and often disproportionate limbs. It's a genetic disorder. That's what inbreeding is. It's one of the effects of that. Now, I'm just going to leave it there. You figure out the rest for yourself. Still has the aptitude to understand. You're always going to have a problem with stuff. I guarantee you that.